Hello, second grade. Welcome to Science with Miss Conley. In today's lesson, we are going to be comparing frogs and butterflies. We're going to discuss the similarities and differences with frogs and butterflies. We've been talking a lot about the life cycle of a caterpillar. We know it starts as an egg, then it becomes a caterpillar, then it forms its chrysalis, and then in the last stage, of course, it becomes a butterfly. So today we're going to talk about frogs and frogs' life cycle. Here are our vocabulary words. I'm going to say a word and you're going to repeat after me. Vertebrate, amphibians, organism, cold-blooded, gills. Let's go over these new vocabulary words. A vertebrate is an animal that has a backbone or a spine. Remember, we've talked in previous lessons that a caterpillar and a butterfly are invertebrates. That means they have no backbone and they have no spine. In fact, all insects are invertebrates. Amphibians. An amphibian is a cold-blooded animal that starts off as an aquatic gill-breathing animal, and then it becomes a lung-breathing animal. So in order for that to occur, what do you think might happen? You guessed it, metamorphosis. So an amphibian starts off in the water and is able to breathe underwater, and then it goes through metamorphosis where it eventually becomes a frog, and it is a lung-breathing animal where it can breathe on land. An organism, we've talked about this in previous lessons, that is an animal or plant that is living. Cold-blooded. Cold-blooded means an animal that has the body temperature of the environment. And you guessed it, amphibians are cold-blooded. And gills, that is an organ that allows animals to breathe underwater. So when frogs first begin as an egg, they turn into a tadpole and they are able to breathe underwater with their gills. They then go through metamorphosis and become a frog where they are on land and they are able to breathe the air with their lungs. Let's reflect before we go on to this slide. Do you think that humans are cold-blooded? Hopefully you said no. We are not cold-blooded because we do not maintain the temperature of the environment. Let's think about that. What is normally our body temperature? Our body temperature is normally 98 degrees. Is it always 98 degrees in Raleigh? No. It could be 32 degrees, but our body does not turn 32 degrees. We would not be able to live. So we are, in fact, warm-blooded. Let's think about these guiding questions for this lesson. What do you know about frogs? How would you compare and contrast butterflies and frogs? Let's brainstorm. What do I already know about frogs and what do I wonder about frogs. Now, remember, when we ask questions or when we brainstorm about topics, we want to ask a question that really grows our brain. So we're not going to ask a question that requires a yes or no answer. We're going to ask a question like a W question: who, what, when, where, why, how, so that we can really think about our answer. Here are our question stems. Hopefully these look familiar to you. What are some questions that I could ask or wonder? I wonder where the habitats are for frogs. Give me an example of an amphibian. I'm just thinking about our vocabulary words. How would you explain the life cycle of a frog? Go ahead and think of some questions that you wonder about frogs, or maybe something that you already know about frogs. Now that we've got our brain ready to talk about the topic of frogs, let's go ahead and watch a Brain Pop video on frogs.
Hey, put him down. How would you like it if someone picked you up by your tail? Oh, you know what I mean. Dear Tim and Moby, what are amphibians? From Lay. Amphibians are vertebrate or backbone-bearing animals like frogs, salamanders, and newts. Their ancestors were the first vertebrates to venture onto land about 370 million years ago. Existing amphibians are split into three groups. Anurans, or frogs and toads, have short bodies, strong legs, and no tails. Urodels have long bodies, short legs, and flattened tails for swimming. Organisms in the group Apoda are called caecilians. These guys are practically blind, worm-like creatures that look a lot like snakes. Most amphibians split their lives between land and water in a similar way. They're born in the water, stick to the land as adults, and return to the water to breed. Well, many amphibians undergo a metamorphosis that lets them move from a water life to a land life. Take frogs. A frog starts out as a fertilized egg cell in the water. The egg develops into a tadpole that lives in the water and breathes using gills. As the tadpole matures, it grows legs and its body shape changes. When metamorphosis is complete, the frog has a set of lungs that allows it to breathe outside of the water. Strong back legs help it to move on land, and big eyes and a long tongue help it spot and catch prey. Amphibians are ectothermic, or cold-blooded. That means they depend on their surroundings to establish their body temperature. In extreme hot and extreme cold weather, amphibians sometimes go through a period of reduced metabolic activity called torpor. It's a little bit like hibernation. Yeah, I always thought it would be fun to slow down and just sleep. Hey, what are you doing down there? What? I'm not gonna pour water on you.
Wow, after watching that video, I can already think of lots of things that are the same between frogs and butterflies. I can think of things that are different between frogs and butterflies, and I can think of things that that have actually both. Frogs and butterflies have things that are both. Let's think about these questions. What is a vertebrate? Hopefully you said a vertebrate is an animal that has a backbone or a spine, just like a frog. Here's another question. How long have amphibians lived on Earth? Hopefully you caught that question, or that answer. They have been living on Earth for 370 million years. Whoa, that's a long time. What is hibernation? Hibernation, we often think about our bears. They go in a cave and they sleep for a winter. Hibernation is an animal that slows down and it sleeps, or it is inactive for a period of time. Now that we've had a chance to watch a video on frogs and we've been learning lots about caterpillars and butterflies, let's do a Venn diagram and see what only frogs have, what only butterflies have, and maybe what both have. What do both frogs and butterflies have? Well, hopefully you said both are organisms. What are only frogs? Frogs are vertebrates. And butterflies are invertebrates. So frogs have a backbone or a spine, and butterflies do not. Okay, boys and girls, your assignment is to do a Flipgrid comparing and contrasting frogs and butterflies. Remember, this is what a Venn diagram looks like. It's two big circles, and in the middle is what both have. Tell me two things. Where the frog section is what only frogs have, and this section here is what only butterflies have. Do a good job, boys and girls.